Hello everyone, welcome to CKTV on YouTube here. I just want to do a short video concerning the pictures you see there in front of you. It was Hulk Hogan on Good Morning America, and yesterday he went on to discuss his the situation he's in, of course, on Good Morning America, and he was, of course, the guy that made the remarks a load of years ago, and he has been hated for it and slated for it ever since. Since this, of course, whole thing came out that we talked about in all the videos. We don't have to go into it that much tonight, but I just wanted to talk about his interview on Good Morning America, and I wanted to give my opinions on the way it ended up. Hogan, of course, he was very, I thought he talked very well yesterday on the show. I thought he was very genuine. I thought a lot of people say that Hulk Hogan's very ingenuine and he's not very honest as much as a lot of people, but I think he showed, and he talked about his upbringing in Tampa, Florida, South Tampa, and he talked about the cultural differences and stuff. And as we've seen over the years, he has had a lot of black friends and a lot of friends in the wrestling business and in the Hollywood business that are from other cultures, and he's always been known to get along. And as many of his friends and many of his actors and wrestlers in the business would have said, he is not a racist, and there's no doubt about it in my mind as a spectator over the years, as someone who thinks Hulk Hogan is the greatest. You know, I've always been a big fan of the Hulkster, and I've always been a fan, hence my nickname, or my self-acclaimed nickname, as you could say, self-professed title, the Kyoster, the one I use for my small-time, my small-time showbiz stuff. But yes, indeed, I'm a big fan of Hulk Hogan, and I hope that this the interview on Good Morning America, and I hope that this whole thing makes WWE think again and not erase Hulk Hogan. They have erased him from all of history and stuff. You can still see his stuff on the WWE network, and you still see his different stuff, but he is not fully erased in that sense. But he is erased as a member of the WWE Hall of Fame, and he's also erased as really talked about. They don't even mention him anymore in the world of wrestling. They don't really mention him at all in any of the segments now on wrestling. And you know, with so much segments every week, anyway, you might say, if you're a non-wrestling fan, you might say, well, why would they talk about him? He's history anyway. It's something they talk about the modern ones now, but they don't. They always furry into the older wrestlers, and they always talk about legends these days. And you know, it's a really transcendent period in wrestling, and they always go back and talk about all their legends. And now, unfortunately, they never bring up Hulk Hogan's name because of these racial slurs and because of the different things that went down. And unfortunately, that's the way it's went. But hopefully now, this apology on Good Morning America, he's went out to different magazine outlets and stuff like People Magazine and all, and he's told his story, and he's given his side, the true side of the story, like you could say, because he did seem genuine on the show. He was reduced to tears because of his trying to get it out there. You could argue they were crocodile tears and they weren't real, but they seemed pretty genuine to me. And the girl that was there interviewing him from, of course, from ABC and Good Morning America, she seemed fairly genuine as well. So it wasn't a big setup to try and get him in the good books with people again. I think it was genuine, and by it, you know, I've said before, and people might laugh at this, but I can read people very well, and I think I could read Hogan that he was pretty genuine. And I just hope people forgive him for this. And I think it was just a bad situation. He was in a bad place back in 2008, 2009, whenever it happened. He was in a bad state. He was in a bad place, and things didn't work in his favor then. And I think it was between the daughter going with black guy and Hogan making remarks about what he wished it was an 8 foot tall basketball player with millions and millions of dollars, but you know, this is probably just Hogan in a bad place. Remember around that time as well, if you've watched the Finding Hulk Hogan documentary on YouTube, he has, you know, he put the gun in his mouth and stuff. He was about to commit suicide back then as well, around that time. And, you know, it was a really rocky period for Hulk Hogan. And I just hope that if people see that and people put all these things into perspective before judging the man, and hopefully the WWE brings him back and lets him have a Legends contract once again, puts him into the Hall of Fame, back in, reinstates him in the Hall of Fame, and I just hope everything works out for the Hulkster. This has been the Kyoster for CKTV and YouTube. Well done, Hulk Hogan, and good morning, America. Hopefully it's now the start of the healing process as far as getting you back into the as a legend in the annals of time. You always were to me, but a lot of people needed the forgiveness, and hopefully a lot of people wanted to be able to forgive you, and this hopefully opens the door for that. It has been the Kyoster. I'll be back with more videos over the next couple of days, and especially I'm going to actually talk about a kind of a related subject here, because he's also in the WWE Hall of Fame on the celebrity wing, and he's also making big shake-ups in the world at these days, and that is the one and only Donald Trump. I'm going to be talking about his presidential campaign in America. It's not something I really go into much, politics, but I have been following really like a fine comb. I've been following this man's run. I don't agree with a lot of the stuff he says, but he's very exciting and entertaining, and since he went into politics here now the last while, I think it's very interesting, and he's going to, I think, knock Hillary Clinton off her pedestal. But I'm going to talk about that stuff later on in another video. But as far as Hulk Hogan goes, let's hope he will be reinstated by WWE, and let's hope everything works out for the Hulkster, because he is a legend in the history of professional wrestling and in all-round entertainment. I think he's a legend. Okay, this has been the Kyoster for CKTV. Kyoster over, ha ha, and out.